Most people don't realize how much their personal information is being bought and sold every day. Data brokers are making billions, pulling details about you from public records and the internet, and then packaging and selling it, usually without your consent. That's how your information lands in the hands of scammers, spammers, even stalkers. It's why you get endless robocalls and why ads seem to follow you everywhere. That's where Aura comes in. Aura actively removes your data from broker sites and keeps it off. They also instantly alert you if your information shows up in a breach or on the dark web. But Aura goes beyond data protection. With one app, you get a VPN, antivirus, password manager, spam call protection, dark web monitoring, and even up to $5 million in identity theft insurance, all backed by 24/7 US-based fraud support. Other companies might sell just credit monitoring or just a VPN. Aura gives you all of it, together, at the same price competitors charge for just one service. Start your free trial today at aura.com/remove. Protect yourself now at aura.com/remove.
Hi, everyone. I'm Vincent Joe.
Hi, I'm Kathy Reed.
And I'm Allison Reed.
Hi, I'm Ashley.
Hi, I'm Grace.
We're from the Haydenettes.
I am Mark Henretti.
Ciao a tutti, siamo Rebecca Ghirardi
e Filippo Ambrosini
e vi diamo il benvenuto a
This Weekend Skating.
Welcome to This Week in Skating, the weekly podcast bringing you the latest news from the world of figure skating. Here are your hosts, Daphne, Gina, and Mateo.
Hey, it's Gina here. Hope everyone is doing well and enjoying the off season. Hopefully the weather is nice where you are. I can't say that here where I am. It hasn't felt like spring as of late, but hopefully the weather will cooperate. Daphne, Mateo, and I have been busy with both skating things and with life in general. I know Mateo has been traveling for work. I was doing some traveling last weekend myself for a family graduation. So we've been busy, but we're still thinking about This Week in Skating like all the time, and we are in contact with one another. We've been dropping a few interviews. If you haven't listened to the podcast in a bit, we dropped an interview with Emilia Zingis and Vadim Kolesnik, as well as I did very brief interviews with Ellie Kam and Danny O'Shea and Andrew Torgashev while they made a stop in my city for Stars on Ice. And we dropped an episode last week with Daniel Grossel. And Daphne and I are going to be recording another episode this week, so stay tuned for that. So we are working on more interviews for the coming weeks. And as you know, we're on a break from our weekly episodes, but given that there's so much going on right now, I said I need to record an episode, and Daphne and Mateo agreed with that. So I'm calling this an off-season catch-up. I'm going to run through a lot of news that has happened over the last few weeks. I may throw in my thoughts on some of these news items as well. So it may be a long episode, but stay tuned through this. We will break it all down in case you have been away from the skating world for the last few weeks. And let me tell you, there's a lot going on. So let's get started then. We'll move on to general skating news. 12-year-old South African figure skater Kyra Meyer passed away less than 2 weeks after a tragic electric scooter accident. A member of the South African Figure Skating Association, Meyer suffered the accident on May 10th and was airlifted to the ICU at Mill Park Hospital. When Meyer arrived at the hospital, she was in a coma and died on May 19th. A memorial service was held on May 22nd. The South African Figure Skating Association posted a tribute to Meyer on Instagram, calling her a cherished member of our skating community, and her presence both on and off the ice will be deeply missed. I'll have a link to that tribute that they did in our show notes, as well as a New York Post article about the accident as well. On April 30th, the survivor in the Nikolai Sorensen case, Ashley Foy, spoke publicly for the first time in a video released on Lori Ward's Broken Ice Substack. This is the first time that Foy has spoken publicly and identified herself as the victim. In the video, she shares her account of what she says happened to her, the pressures that kept her silent, and the toll of navigating a years-long complaint process. Foy has also launched a charity called Just Ice No Abuse, where she is hoping to help other survivors navigate the reporting process and access legal support. Now, please note that the video is behind a paywall. Lori only released like 5 minutes of the interview free. Now, Broken Ice also reported on May 6th that two-time world pairs champion and coach Megan Duhamel has been suspended by Skate Canada for 2 weeks for bullying and harassment of another coach. Megan did release a statement to Broken Ice, and you will have that link as well in our show notes. For the second consecutive year, the Coach Ice Awards recognized U.S. figure skating Learn to Skate USA, or Aspire coaches who have made a significant impact on the athletes, parents, and fellow coaches within their skating communities and beyond. The awards honor coaches who demonstrate exceptional leadership, character, and professionalism while exemplifying the core values of U.S. figure skating, which are excellence, respect, integrity, community, and resilience. The award recipients were honored at the Coach Ice Awards banquet, which took place Thursday, May 21st at the 2026 Impact Summit in Colorado Springs, Colorado. A link to a list of winners will be available in our show notes. Now, moving on to new partnerships, and I think this was the biggest news of last week. Marion Honda and Shoma Uno will compete in ice dance for Japan with the intention of competing at the 2030 Olympics. Now, Marion Honda was the 2016 World Junior Champion. She never won a Grand Prix medal or competed at the Olympics or Senior Worlds. When she made the move to senior, she just really couldn't break through with the strong field of women skaters in Japan. So she retired in 2024. Now, as you know, Shoma is a 3-time Olympic medalist. He won silver in 2018, bronze in 2022, and silver in the team event in 2022. He is a 2-time world champion, winning it in 2022 and 2023. He won the World Junior Championships the year before Marion won her junior title. He also retired in 2024. Now, this news wasn't a surprise because we have been seeing some videos on social media, but it had me thinking about previous single skaters who have returned to the sport as ice dancers, or skaters who have made the switch while they were still competing. It's very common for single skaters to go to pairs, but we don't really see a lot of single skaters go to ice dance. Especially given skaters who have had a really outstanding singles career. But with the help of Daphne and Anne, I'm going to run down a few of the skaters that have made the switch from singles to ice dance. And the one that I thought of right away when I heard this news about Shoma was Daisuke Takahashi. Now, Daisuke Takahashi competed at 3 Olympics, won the bronze medal in 2010. He also won the world title in 2010, was a 2-time 4 continents champion, won the Grand Prix final. He had an outstanding singles career. He retired from singles skating in 2014. He came back in 2018-2019 for a brief season before announcing he was switching to ice dance for the 2019-2020 season. He competed with Kana Muramoto for Japan and won a silver medal at 4 continents. They competed at 2 world championships before they retired in 2023. I remember it was very disappointing that they did not make the Olympics because then he would have been the first skater to have qualified for the Olympics in 2 different disciplines. There is a skater that did that, and I'm going to talk about that skater in a little bit. But this is not the first time that we've seen a single skater go to ice dance in Japan. More recently from Japan, Kishiro Shimada and Yakira Kushida Both single skaters are skating together in ice dance. Rika Chiara has switched to ice dance. She is skating with Shingo Nishiyama. Nikolai Myrov competed at the 2022 Olympics and 2 World Championships as a single skater for Sweden. In 2023, he switched to ice dance. He did not retire, and he is skating with Mila Ruud-Reiten. They have competed at 3 World Championships and finished 20th at the Milano Cortina Olympics. Now, Nikolai is the first ever skater to qualify for both the singles and ice dance disciplines at the Winter Olympics. So, Daisuke wasn't able to do it. It was Nikolai that got that honor of being the first skater to qualify for both singles and ice dance at the Olympics. Emilia Zingis competed for Cyprus at the 2021 World Championships. She switched to ice dance the following year and has been skating with Vadim Kolesnik of the United States, and we know how they did this season. They won the 4 Continents Championships, world bronze medalists. They also competed at the Olympics, finishing in 5th place. Saulius Ambruvicius competed at 4 World Championships for Lithuania as a single skater. Those 4 World Championships were 2008, 2009, 2010, and 2012. He switched to ice dance in 2014. He first skated with Taylor Tran before skating with Allison Reed in 2017. Now, Allison and Saul have competed in 8 World Championships. 6 was their best finish in 2024. They won the bronze medal at the European Championships in 2024. They were 5th at the Grand Prix final this year and were 6th at the Olympics this year. Not sure what Saulius and Allison plan to do. We haven't heard an announcement about their future plans, so we just have to wait and see. Now, Holly Harris competed at the 2017 Junior World Championships as a single skater for Australia. She switched to ice dance in 2019 and has been skating with Jason Chan. They have competed at 6 World Championships and finished 18th at the Olympics in Milan. Now, Yulia Turkula and Mateus Versuis were both single skaters before they teamed up. Yulia skated in 4 World Championships from 2011 to 2014, and she teamed up with Mateus in 2016. Mateus skated at 2 Junior World Championships in 2012 and 2013. Together, the two have competed in 6 World Championships, 2 Olympics, and they won the bronze medal at the European Championships in 2023. There are probably more skaters that have gone from singles to ice dance, but these were just some names that we thought we'd share with you all. Other new partnerships, Fiona Bombier and Lucas Ethier announced that they are a new team. Fiona previously skated with Benjamin Mimar. They announced their split in late April. They finished 4th at Canadians in 2025. They didn't compete this past season. Now, Lucas previously skated with Kellyanne Laurent. They announced their split also in late April. They were 3-time Canadian bronze medalists and competed at 4 World Championships. Kellyanne is looking for a new partner, and we haven't had an announcement from her as of yet. Star Andrews and Danielle Parkman announced that they are a new team. Star announced last season that the 2025-2026 season was her final season as a single skater, and she was switching to pairs. Now, Star finished 4th at the U.S. Championships in 2023 and won a silver medal at Skate Canada in 2022. She competed in 3 Four Continents Championships as a single skater. Danielle previously skated with Katie McBeath. They were 2-time U.S. medalists. They won silver and bronze. They finished 6th at 4 Continents and 12th at Worlds this year. Katie McBeath has not announced a new partnership as of yet. We will wait and see when she plans to announce a new partnership. I know there are photos on social media that appear that she has a new partner, but until it comes from Katie, we will not be reporting it here on This Week in Skating. Joining Andrews and Parkman, working with Jenny Mino, Brandon Frazier, and Christine Biner, is Tallulah Tanner and Blake McGee. They are a new junior pairs team for the U.S. Now, this new partnership was announced today, which is Sunday, May 24th, the day I'm recording this podcast, Melania Vananen and Filippo Ambrosini will be competing for Italy next season. Now, Vananen skated with another Filippo Clarisi, for Finland. So those are the new partnerships as of May 24th. I'm sure we will have more partnerships in the coming weeks. And of course, we will report on any new partnerships once they have been confirmed by the skaters or the coaches. Now, with the off season, there also means there are splits or dissolved partnerships that happen. So partnership that has dissolved was Sarah Conti and Niccolo Maci. Sarah will look for another partner. She's had some tryouts, but hasn't made up her mind yet, and also said she wants to find someone that has that craving to work hard and excel. And I want to say thank you, Matteo, for translating a video of Sarah speaking in Italian. I was not able to decipher all of what she said in some of the videos that were posted last week. So I thank you, Matteo, for translating that for us. Niccolo is retiring and he plans to start a journey as a coach. Now, Sarah and Niccolo are Olympic bronze medalists. They finished 6th in the individual event at the Olympics. They are 2-time world bronze medalists, European champions, 3-time Grand Prix final medalists. I am really going to miss this partnership. Now, this one was a shock, I think, to many, given the fact that they were the second team in Canada and given the unknown of what Piper Gillis and Paul Poirier were going to do. This team could have been the top team in Canada. I'm talking about Marjorie Lajoie and Zachary Laga. Now, neither of them have said they plan to continue skating in their Instagram posts, but I think both of them are looking for new partners. It just was not clear in their social media posts. Now, they were together for 15 years. They were 2-time Olympians, competed at 5 world championships. 5th was their best finish in 2024. They were 2-time 4 continents bronze medalists, 4-time Canadian silver medalists, World Junior champions, won a bronze at the Youth Olympics in the team event in 2016. They had an outstanding career. My thought is of late, maybe they just weren't able to kind of break through internationally with some of the teams. They were kind of a little bit lower in the results than they had been in previous seasons. So wishing all of the best to them. Again, this was quite the shock because they are the number 2 team in Canada. And with Piper and Paul, we're thinking they're going to retire. Not 100% sure on that. And with the unknown status of Marie-Jade Laurent and Roman Lagac, we don't know if they're planning to continue. This was the team that could have been, the top team for Canada. And it's unfortunate. Again, wishing them all of the best. This was not the only Canadian ice dance team to split. We were kind of wondering what was going on in Canada when we had news of other teams splitting in ice dance. It was kind of crazy. I think we got 3 in one day, and we were all wondering what was going on in Canada ice dance. But Lily Henson and Nathan Lickers announced that they will no longer be competing together next season. They were 8th at 4 continents this year. Alicia Fabry and Paul Ayer, they were 4th at 4 continents this year, and they were alternates for the Olympics. They were the 4th place team in Canada. I mean, they were fighting Marie-Jade and Roman for that Olympic spot. Last year, they may have had a better advantage over Marie-Jade and Roman, and this year, they kind of got a late start, and so they were behind Marie-Jade and Roman. So this was another surprise to see this team split, given that they were a top team in Canada. And then we had Sandrine Guthrie and Quentin Theron. They were 9th at Canadians this year. So we'll just kind of have to wait and see what's going to go on with Canadian ice dance. Hopefully we'll hear of some new teams for Canada in the coming weeks. Australia's Anastasia Golubova and Hector Giotopoulos-Moore announced that they will no longer be skating together. Anastasia plans to look for another partner, while Hector is taking a step back from competitive skating. He did not use the word retire in his post, so we'll just have to wait and see what he plans to do. He may come back to the competitive world at some point. Now, they were the first Australian pair skaters to win an ISU Grand Prix medal. They won the Junior Grand Prix final in 2022. They were two-time World Junior Silver medalists. They competed at the Olympics in Milan and at 3 World and 4 Continents Championships. Now, earlier I mentioned that Filippo Ambrosini has a new partner. Rebecca Gilardi has retired from competition. Rebecca and Filippo were two-time Olympians, two-time European medalists, and competed at 3 Grand Prix finals. Great Britain's Anastasia Vipin-Law and Luke Digby will not be skating together next season. Anastasia is looking for a new partner while Luke is retiring. Anastasia and Luke were 5-time British champions, 2026 Olympians, competed in 5 Europeans and 4 World Championships. Now, Poland's Julia Chichenia and Mikhail Wozniak will not be competing next season. Yulia is retiring while Mikhail is looking for another partner. Yulia even had a post on social media helping Mikhail find another partner. I thought that was very cute. Yulia and Mikhail competed at the Olympics in Milan. They have skated together since 2023. This one was sort of a surprise. Hannah Lim and Yi Kwan announced that they are searching for new partners and they will not be skating together next season. They were the first South Korean ice dancers to win an ISU Grand Prix medal at either the senior or junior level. They competed at the Olympics in Milan. They competed in the team event as well as the individual event. Unfortunately, in the individual event, they were not able to qualify for the free dance. They did qualify for the free dance at the World Championships. Wishing them both the best of luck as they pursue new partnerships. After a difficult season moving up to the senior level, Olivia Flores and Luke Wang announced that they will not be skating together next season. I believe they are both looking for new partners, but we haven't heard that officially. We just know that they won't be skating together next season. So stay tuned to find out what those two will be doing. They were the U.S. Junior Champions and World Junior Silver medalists. Canada's Julia Quattrochi and Etienne Lacasse just teamed up this past season and were the Canadian Junior Champions and qualified for the Junior Grand Prix final. Both are looking for new partners for next season. So those are all of the dissolved partnerships that have happened since we last recorded a weekly episode. I'm not surprised by the number of, announcements that we've been receiving regarding, partnerships, splitting up and new partnerships. This is what happens. After an Olympic quad, we get all these announcements, and I think we're getting a lot more given that the 2022 Olympics was a COVID Olympics. I think a lot of skaters decided to stick it out for another 4 years, and now some want to keep going, but others don't. And so that's why we're hearing a lot of, partnerships ending and new partnerships forming. And so yeah, it is what it is, and I'm sure more announcements will be coming in the coming weeks.
Most people don't realize how much their personal information is being bought and sold every day. Data brokers are making billions, pulling details about you from public records and the internet, and then packaging and selling it, usually without your consent. That's how your information lands in the hands of scammers, spammers, even stalkers. It's why you get endless robocalls and why ads seem to follow you everywhere. That's where Aura comes in. Aura actively removes your data from broker sites and keeps it off. They also instantly alert you if your information shows up in a breach or on the dark web. But Aura goes beyond data protection. With one app, you get a VPN, antivirus, password manager, spam call protection, dark web monitoring, and even up to $5 million in identity theft insurance. All backed by 24/7 US-based fraud support. Other companies might sell just credit monitoring or just a VPN. Aura gives you all of it, together, at the same price competitors charge for just one service. Start your free trial today at aura.com/remove. Protect yourself now at aura.com/remove.
Now, we also had retirements where both partners retired, or, retirements with just single skaters. And Riku Mira and Ryuichi Kiara announced that they are both retiring. They are the Olympic gold medalists, two-time Olympic silver medalists, two-time world champions. I mean, they have had an outstanding career, definitely have paved the way for pair skating in Japan. I mean, now we have some other teams that are hoping to break through now that Riku and Ryuichi are stepping away. So they're definitely going to be missed. I have enjoyed watching them so much over the years, and so wishing them all of the best in whatever they choose to do. And, I hope we see them continue in skating in some way. Maybe they'll do some show skating. Who knows? Vladimir Vincentiev also announced that he is retiring. He was a two-time Olympian and competed in 7 world championships for Azerbaijan. Landry Lemay is coaching now. He has announced that he will not be competing anymore. And after 11 years together, Francis Marie Dupiage and Thomas Nabay announced they are retiring, wishing them all of the best. And fan favorite Sweden's Josephine Tellegard announced that she is retiring, wishing all of the best to the skaters as they pursue other avenues, whether it be in the skating world or outside of skating. Now, we've also heard of skaters taking a season off or taking a break. This one is not taking a season off, nor is it a retirement announcement, but Madison Chalk and Evan Bates said in a Forbes magazine article that they plan to move toward show skating. This is not an official announcement that they are retiring, but it seems like they're going to be heading in that direction. Again, we will wait and see what Chalk and Bates plan to do next season. Yuma Kageyama plans to take next season off. He also announced that he is not working with Carolina Kostner. Now, on the flip side, we did get announcements that some skaters are saying they are continuing. And if you listen to our episode with Daniel Grossel, he talked about he will be skating next season, as well as you heard Emilia Zingis and Vadim Kolesnik plan to compete next season as well. Also planning to compete, Minerva Fabian Hasse and Nikita Volodin. They announced they plan to continue skating through the 2030 Olympics, so we will be seeing them hopefully for another 4 years. And Gabrielle Delman of Canada will compete next season. She says it will most likely be her final season, so it does not seem that she is going to push for another Olympic quad, but who knows? I'm glad she is announcing that she is going to compete next season. We did have some coaching changes. Rachel Samari announced that she is going to be working with Philip Duguglielmo and Massimo Scali. Isabella Flores and Linus Colmore Jepsen announced that they are going to be working with Adrian Diaz, Madison Hubble, Kara Moore, and Scott Moore. Sophie Jolene von Felten announced that she is going to be working with Elena and Valdemir Petrenko. She is leaving her training location at the Skating Club of Boston. Mai Okada is going to be working with Mi Hamada. So I think I got all of the retirements, the new partnerships, the splits, the coaching changes, but that's not all. The ISU was busy. Since we last released a weekly episode, there have been a number of updates from the ISU. We've had the ISU Athletes Committee election results. We had the announcement of the Challenger Series in figure skating for next season. We have the Synchro Well Balance Program content for next season. We have the Synchro 9 Well Balance Program content for next season and the following season. We have the ISU calendar of events for next season. We have the Synchro difficulty groups of elements for next season. We have the single and pairs skating scale of values for next season. The ISU list of candidates for elections. The agenda for the 60th Ordinary ISU Congress. Guidelines for international novice competitions for next season. Synchro novice competitions for next season. Singles and pairs levels and GOEs for next season. And synchro GOEs for next season. All of those updates from the ISU will be in our show notes, so you can read those documents. The ISU Congress is coming up. I'll be mentioning that a little later in the show. More news. Skate Canada announced the 35 athletes named to the Skate Canada's 2026-2027 Next Gen team. Event tickets to Skate Canada International are on sale. The event is October 30th to November 1st in Kelowna, British Columbia. All event and weekend tickets are on sale for the 2027 U.S. Figure Skating Championships. The event is at the Maverick Center in Salt Lake City, January 5th through the 10th. Now, juvenile, intermediate, novice, and junior will all have a national championships, and that will be taking place at the Salt Lake City Sports Complex. This is a change as of recently. Since 2020, the younger disciplines have participated in a national development camp. Now, juvenile, intermediate, and novice will get to compete at a national championships like the juniors and seniors do, and that will be taking place at the Salt Lake City Sports Complex. Now, when U.S. Figure Skating originally announced the location for the U.S. Championships, the juvenile, intermediate, novice, and junior practices and events were going to take place before the senior events. Now they have been moved to after the senior events. So they will be taking place January 10th to the 14th. So that is a wrap on all of the news that has been going on in the skating world over the last few weeks. Well, moving on to event results and coverage, there are some events going on, believe it or not, and one of them is the 2026 International Adult Figure Skating Competition, and we will have a link to the results in our show notes. Well, moving on to upcoming events, yes, there are still events going on. From May 28th to the 31st is the 2026 Traverse City Cherry Classic, and that is a national solo dance series event, and that is taking place in Traverse City, Michigan. June 4th to the 7th in Estero, Florida is the 2026 4th Annual Paradise Coast Classic, which is also another solo dance series event. June 4th to the 7th in Mount Lake Terrace, Washington is the Ice Fest, also another solo dance event. June 10th to the 13th is the 2026 Utah Skate Fest. That is also another national solo dance event, and that is in West Valley City, Utah. And as I said earlier, the 60th Ordinary ISU Congress is going to be coming up in a couple weeks. It's June 10th to the 12th in Spain. And probably before the Congress, one of us will do an episode looking at what some of the things are that are going to be discussed at the Congress, but that is coming up soon. And of course, we will be looking forward to seeing what comes out of that Congress. Well, moving on to online updates, some congratulations are in order. Congratulations to Belgium's Olivia Schilling and Leo Baton on their wedding. The on and off ice duo got married on May 16th. And we heard that Kaori Sakamoto got married. That was probably a really big surprise. So congratulations to Kaori and her new husband. Well, we have a couple of articles and interviews we want to mention. Jackie Wong had an interview with Wakaba Higuchi on his Rocker Skating podcast. He also teased an interview with Kaori Sakamoto that is coming up. Now, Jackie usually takes a break. He goes into hibernation during the off season, but I don't think he is doing that this season. He has really been busy. He also mentioned that him and Danielle Earl are working on a book, so I'm looking forward to that. And we might have to have the two of them on to talk about this book that they are planning to do. Golden Skate released 2 articles, one with Spanish ice dance team Sofia Val and Asef Kazimov, and one with Belgium's Denis Krolov. U.S. Figure Skating posted 2 articles that I want to mention. One article, actually she wrote it herself, Audrey Liu reflected on her time at UCLA and skating with the collegiate team there. She is graduating, so all of the best to Audrey. And this one was a really cute article for Mother's Day, but a love beyond the ice, Alexa Kinnear embraces motherhood. And as we know, Alexa is a brand new mother. Her son is going to be almost a year old, so it was cute to hear her now talking about being a mom. So definitely go check those articles out if you haven't done so. And one more article I want to mention. Rob Brody spoke with Fee Ann Landry, and that article is on his Substack. As you know, we like to end each episode by highlighting what is going on at This Week in Skating, IceDance.com, and Figure Skaters Online. At This Week in Skating, we are still on our break from weekly episodes. We haven't announced yet when we will kick off season 5. Of course, we will let you know when that will be. But until then, we'll be dropping interviews and weekly episodes as we see fit. So make sure you're following us on social media. We also have a store. You can support our podcast while rocking some cool swag. We also have items available with the IceDance.com and Figure Skaters Online logos. You can also join us on Patreon for access to ad-free episodes as well as earlier released episodes. So like the Emilia Zingis and Vadim Kolesnik episode went up on Patreon before it went to the podcast platforms. So if you would like to hear episodes earlier and interviews earlier, join us over on Patreon. And we hope to do more with Patreon this season. There was so much to do during this Olympic season. We didn't do as much as we wanted to over on Patreon, but we hope to do more this coming season. Over at IceDance.com and Figure Skaters Online, you're going to see similar things. Both Daphne and I have photos from the Ice Theater of New York's home season performance in Gala, Stars on Ice US, and Stars on Ice Canada. Over at FSO, I did do a review of the Stars on Ice US show. That's always something I do after I see a Stars on Ice show. So if you want to hear my thoughts about Stars on Ice, go check it out at FSO. But there's lots of photos both on IceDance.com and Figure Skaters Online. I've reached the end of the episode. Thank you so much for joining me as I broke down all of the news that has been going on in the last few weeks, this off-season catch-up as I called it. Daphne and I are recording an interview this week. It's a different sort of interview than a usual skating interview, so we're looking forward to that, and that probably will be dropping next week. And then either Daphne, Mateo, or I will probably do an episode regarding the ISU Congress, and we will then recap that as well. So we're still here. We're just not recording on a weekly basis, but make sure you're following us on social media. We are definitely sharing updates and things there as well. Hope you're enjoying this off season. Until next time.
Thanks for tuning in to another episode of This Week in Skating. Remember, you can keep up with us throughout the week by visiting our website at www.thisweekinskating.com. Connect with us on social media for additional updates. You can find us on Twitter at This Week in Skating without the E's, or Facebook, Instagram, and Threads at This Week in Skating. You got a burning question or feedback for Gina, Daphne, or Mateo? Reach out to us via social media or drop us an email at thisweekinskating@gmail.com. And if you're really enjoying the show and want to support us further, consider joining our Patreon community at patreon.com/thisweekinskating. Until next time, have a nice week.
Most people don't realize how much their personal information is being bought and sold every day. Data brokers are making billions, pulling details about you from public records and the internet, and then packaging and selling it, usually without your consent. That's how your information lands in the hands of scammers, spammers, even stalkers. It's why you get endless robocalls and why ads seem to follow you everywhere. That's where Aura comes in. Aura actively removes your data from broker sites and keeps it off. They also instantly alert you if your information shows up in a breach or on the dark web. But Aura goes beyond data protection. With one app, you get a VPN, antivirus, password manager, spam call protection, dark web monitoring, and even up to $5 million in identity theft insurance, all backed by 24/7 US-based fraud support. Other companies might sell just credit monitoring or just a VPN. Aura gives you all of it, together, at the same price competitors charge for just one service. Start your free trial today at aura.com/remove. Protect yourself now at aura.com/remove.